Drew McIntyre makes his WWE retirement plans official. Roman Reigns forces Paul Heyman to turn on Seth Rollins. Another wrestling star joins Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in the Street Fighter live-action movie. Jimmy Uso removed from title match at SNME due to injury. Saraya calls out toxic wrestling fans after online harassment. Teddy Long breaks silence after his son's tragic passing. The WWE is planning to go head-to-head with AEW to destroy its ticket sales. Former WWE star Enzo Amore resurfaces on TNA Impact. John Cena lands a new HGTV executive producer gig. WWE Evolution ticket sales do not matter. Let's dive right in. Roman Reigns forces Paul Heyman to turn on Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns is on the verge of a massive WWE comeback, and fans are pumped to see how his story unfolds as SummerSlam 2025 draws near. The former undisputed WWE champion is already confirmed for the biggest party of the summer at MetLife Stadium on August 3rd. Here are 4 big moves the original Tribal Chief could make. First, Reigns and CM Punk share enemies in Seth Rollins' faction, the Empire. Rollins and Braun Breaker took out both Punk and Reigns on Raw after WrestleMania. Alone, neither Punk nor the OTC can topple the Visionaries crew due to their numbers advantage. This could lead to Reigns and Punk teaming up again to face Rollins and Breaker at SummerSlam. They last joined forces at Survivor Series War Games 2024, when Paul Heyman brokered a deal for Punk to align with Reigns. Heyman turned on both Reigns and Punk at WrestleMania to side with Rollins. With SummerSlam known for big twists, the OTC could pull a fast one by secretly working with Heyman to betray Rollins. Reigns and the Wisemen built a strong bond during the Bloodline saga, so it wouldn't be shocking if Reigns manipulates Heyman to ditch his former Shield teammate, seeing it as a smarter move for the Oracle. On SmackDown, Solo Sikoa's faction is running the show. The new United States champion and his crew already crushed Jacob Fatu, and Solo's set to face Jimmy Uso at Saturday night's main event, likely keeping the title thanks to his group's edge. After watching Solo hijack the Bloodline, Reigns could return at SummerSlam to take down Sikoa's squad, reclaim control of his bloodline, and boot the US champion out. The Rock gave a nod to Reigns on Raw's Netflix debut after the OTC beat Solo to reclaim the Ula Fala. With Reigns needing backup against Rollins' faction, he might return at SummerSlam with the final boss by his side. The duo already defeated Cody Rhodes and Rollins in a tag match at WrestleMania last year, so a reunion to crush the Visionaries crew at the biggest party of the summer would be a massive moment. Another wrestling star joins Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in the Street Fighter live-action movie. The live-action Street Fighter movie just beefed up its cast with another wrestling star, and it's not from WWE. Roman Reigns is locked in as Akuma, and Cody Rhodes is set to play Guile. Now, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Hiroki Goto is jumping in, cast as E Honda per Fightful Select. Goto made waves earlier this year by winning NJPW's IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in February, beating Zack Sabre Jr., before losing it back to him at Tanahashi Jam on June 29th. Adding him to the mix turns Street Fighter into a wrestling-packed showdown. With Reigns, Rhodes, and Goto on board, this movie is shaping up as a dream come true for wrestling fans, and filming hasn't even started yet. Will this spark a new wrestling-fueled Hollywood franchise, or is it just a one-time muscle-filled spectacle? Jimmy Uso removed from title match at SNME due to injury. Jimmy Uso is slated to challenge Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship at Saturday night's main event, marking his first ever singles title match at a major show. It's a huge chance to win gold, but tonight's SmackDown could throw a wrench in those plans. Solo's crew might launch a vicious backstage attack on Jimmy, taking out the former tag team champion to send a message to the entire roster. The assault could be so brutal that, in the storyline, Jimmy suffers an injury, forcing SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis to pull him from the title match. In a shocking twist, Jacob Fatu, Jimmy's former rival turned friend, could step in as his replacement. The Samoan Werewolf hasn't had a rematch since losing the US title to Sikoa at Night of Champions, making him the perfect pick to face Solo at the last minute. Fatu's got a deep grudge with Sikoa, and their feud goes way beyond just a championship. A clash between them feels inevitable, with plenty of bad blood left to settle. So, there's a strong chance Fatu could end up facing Sikoa for the title at Saturday night's main event. This is all speculation though, and we'll have to see how it plays out. Jimmy Uso's had a rough year, often stuck in the shadows on SmackDown while his brother Jey Uso soaked up the spotlight. But SummerSlam could change that, with Big Jim possibly landing a major tag team match. He could team with Fatu to take on Sikoa and one of his faction members at the biggest party of the summer. With all these stars tied into the same storyline, it'd be a great way to showcase them. It's been ages since Jimmy had a big moment, and Triple H could use this match to give him a spotlight, especially if Solo isn't defending the US title at SummerSlam. The coming weeks will reveal what WWE has in store for this heated SmackDown SmackDown saga, Saraya calls out toxic wrestling fans after online harassment. AEW's Saraya is done with the online attacks and let loose after a new report named her among the most harassed wrestlers on the internet. A Cryptomaniacs.com study covering social media from April 2024 to April 2025 listed the top 15 wrestlers facing the most hate. Saraya ranked in the top 5, joined by Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Mercedes Moné, and Tegan Knox. After the list blew up online, Saraya hit back on Twitter with a sharp message. IWC needs to reevaluate how they treat women in wrestling. Her words hit hard, and it's easy to see why. The study revealed Charlotte Flair as the most targeted athlete overall, not just in wrestling, with a 36.4% negativity rating. Nia Jax trailed close behind at 35.3%. Saraya, Moné, and Knox weren't far off, highlighting a harsh truth. Women in wrestling face a heavy share of online venom. The list also named CM Punk, Chris Jericho, the Young Bucks, Cora Jade, Jon Moxley, Jade Cargill, Alexa Bliss, Britt Baker, Will Ospreay, and a tie between Ricochet, Natalya, and Nikki Bella. But women topped the charts, and Saraya's not staying quiet about it. With fan behavior under fire, the line between fair critique and cruel harassment keeps getting murkier, especially for female wrestlers just trying to do their jobs. Saraya's post makes it clear the fight for respect in wrestling fandom is far from done. Teddy Long breaks silence after his son's tragic passing. WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long has shared his grief over the recent passing of his son, Antione. The sad news was first posted by Long's friend Mac Davis on Facebook. A beloved figure in wrestling, Long won over fans as SmackDown's general manager, standing out as a fan-favorite authority figure in an era filled with villains. Antione passed away just days ago, a devastating blow coming 3 years after Long lost his wife. On the Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours podcast, Long opened up about the tragedy. He passed, I believe, last Thursday. We found him Friday, Long began. He was in his home and he was unresponsive, so basically I'm waiting on the autopsy to let us kind of know what really happened. And he was lying on his bed, still had his clothes on and everything, and one of his friends came there and found him in the house. Nothing we can do is God's call, Long said. Inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2017, Long was cheered loudly for his contributions. During the Ruthless Aggression era, he became a fan favorite, often backing SmackDown's top good guys. One of his standout moments came on the road to WrestleMania 22 in 2006. When Rey Mysterio lost his world title shot to Randy Orton, Long stepped in, using his authority to put Mysterio back in the match, earning a huge roar from the crowd. Mysterio went on to beat Orton and Kurt Angle at Mania to claim the World Heavyweight Championship. The WWE is planning to go head-to-head with AEW to destroy its ticket sales. WWE is coming for AEW with a direct strike, and they're not holding back. According to WrestleVotes Radio on WrestleBinge, WWE is set to run NXT Heatwave on Sunday, August 24th, the same day as AEW's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. The event is likely headed to South Carolina, with the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium in the mix as a venue. Inside sources say TKO executives themselves made the call to go head-to-head with AEW. This isn't a one-off. WWE's already stacking AEW's All-In Weekend with Saturday night's main event, Great American Bash and Evolution, crowding the schedule to steal AEW's thunder. If this plan rolls out, it's another aggressive move in WWE's post-merger playbook, using NXT to target AEW's fanbase and derail their big show hype. WWE and TKO aren't just playing it safe, they're aiming straight for AEW's biggest moments with no hesitation. With NXT Heatwave set to clash with Forbidden Door, the rivalry is shifting from quiet shots to all-out warfare. Is this a clever power play by WWE and TKO, or are they pushing too hard to overshadow AEW? Former WWE star Enzo Amore resurfaces on TNA Impact. TNA Impact just got a jolt of chaos with the return of a controversial wrestling star. On the July 10th episode, a wild vignette aired featuring former WWE standout Enzo Amore. The segment felt like it came from another dimension, with Enzo diving right into his signature style, kicking things off with his classic line, "And you can't teach that." Part rant, part nostalgia trip, Enzo reminded everyone of his bold personality and maybe sent a warning to TNA's roster. He brought up his infamous stunt at Madison Square Garden, where he crashed a WWE pay-per-view from the crowd after his 2018 release. "You remember what I did at the Garden. Don't think I won't do it again." Enzo's wrestling journey has been a roller coaster. He and Big Cass became a red-hot act in NXT without ever winning titles. Then he made waves in WWE's Cruiserweight division, snagging the Cruiserweight Championship before his exit in 2018. Since then, he's gone by Real One on the indie scene and popped up briefly in MLW before fading from major wrestling TV until this TNA comeback. Is Enzo Amore's return a thrilling addition to TNA or a risky move for the promotion? John Cena lands a new HGTV executive producer gig. John Cena is juggling his undisputed WWE Championship reign while stacking up major wins outside the ring. HGTV just announced a new show, Junk or Jackpot, with Cena stepping in as executive producer. The series, starring former Queer Eye standout Bobby Burke, follows quirky collectors as they find out if their odd treasures are worth big bucks or just junk. HGTV shared the news this week, hyping the show's premise. Bobby Burke is coming to HGTV, Junk or Jackpot, WT, a new series executive produced by John Cena, yes, that John Cena, sees the former Queer Eye star following collectors as they discover the true monetary value of their extremely unusual trinkets. From rare puppets to dolls and superhero figurines, surprises await at every turn. Cena took to X to share his enthusiasm, connecting with collectors everywhere. What we collect is a reflection of who we are and what we love. Grateful to at HGTV and Bobby for making this project come to life. Cena's no stranger to balancing wrestling with Hollywood, but this producer gig shows he's pushing his career further than ever. With a massive SummerSlam title defense against Cody Rhodes looming, he's proving he can dominate both in the ring and behind the scenes. Is Cena taking on too much outside wrestling, or is he showing he's unstoppable in every arena? WWE Evolution ticket sales do not matter. WWE Evolution is almost here, and while fans are hyped for a big show, ticket sales are falling short, raising some eyebrows. But veteran journalist Bill Apter isn't worried. This year's Evolution, the second of its kind after the 2018 hit, isn't matching the same excitement, especially after Liv Morgan's injury forced WWE to shuffle the card. On the latest Wrestling Time Machine podcast, hosted by Mac Davis, Apter shared why the lower arena turnout isn't a major issue. He explained that WWE cares more about TV and streaming viewership than live gate numbers, since sponsorships and brand deals drive most of their cash. A stadium show for bragging rights? You know, we had 87,000 people there. That's important. That's a lot of money in there. But my point was mainly it was the product that they were putting onto media, onto TV, onto Netflix and all that. That's their primary concern, Apter said. On the same episode, former WWE on-screen manager Dutch Mantell took a jab at the women's division, saying it's in rough shape compared to years past. He argued the current storylines need a complete overhaul to give the women more depth. Hey, my group of girls, female talent in TNA is better than what WWE has right now. I am not saying better, but I am saying they had more stories. They had more rows to go down, alleys to go down. They had doors to go through. I don't know what they would have to stop the program right now with the girls and give each one of them a story and work on it, Mantell said. Drew McIntyre makes his WWE retirement plans official. Drew McIntyre has shared his vision for retiring from WWE, and it's a nostalgic one. The Scottish Warrior wants to go out by reuniting with his old 3 Megabyte stablemates, Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. Though 3 Megabytes was never a top act in WWE, the group built a loyal cult following during its 2-year run before splitting in 2014 when Mahal and McIntyre were let go. Since then, all 3 have carved their own paths. McIntyre and Mahal both became WWE champions, while Slater thrived in the tag team scene. Of the trio, only McIntyre remains with WWE. In a recent Sports Illustrated interview, McIntyre opened up about wanting to bring back 3MB for his final WWE moments, picturing a fun reunion where he avoids the hard hits. Yeah, there's going to be. I tell Heath and Jinder all the time, I was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna, as I mentioned, get what's mine. But eventually, when I feel like it's getting close to time, I'm about to say goodbye, that's when I throw my mates a bone. We reform 3 Megabytes. I don't take any bumps. Heath takes all the bumps. Jinder might take a few in there. I'll stand on the apron, air guitar like hell. Have a good old time, said Drew McIntyre. In the same chat, McIntyre threw shade at John Cena, saying he has no interest in facing him. While he enjoyed Cena's verbal takedown of CM Punk, he feels Cena's changed and isn't the same challenge anymore. Instead, McIntyre's got his eyes on Cody Rhodes. He tore CM Punk apart that 1 week on the microphone with a pipe bomb. I enjoyed it, and I was like, God, I'd love to come back at Cena on the microphone, but he's not the same John Cena. He's a little butch these days. So, I don't want John Cena. I want Cody Rhodes, said McIntyre. Right now, McIntyre is focused on a showdown with Randy Orton at Saturday night's Main Event 2025, after the Viper took him out on SmackDown.